The abduction. The starship's hull groaned as it tore through the fabric of space-time. Inside, Major Sarah Chen gripped her seat, her knuckles white against the harness straps. The rest of her squad sat in grim silence, each lost in their own thoughts as they hurtled towards an uncertain fate. It was supposed to be a routine patrol of the outer colonies. Earth had been expanding its reach across the galaxy for decades now, establishing footholds on distant worlds. The United Earth Defense Force was tasked with keeping those colonies safe from the myriad threats that lurked in the vast, uncharted expanses between the stars. But something had gone terribly wrong. Sarah's mind raced, replaying the events that had led them to this moment. The distress call from Outpost Sigma 9, the eerie silence as they approached the colony, and then, emerging from the inky blackness of space, a massive ship unlike anything they had ever encountered. Before they could react, before they could even begin to comprehend what they were seeing, their own vessel had been enveloped in a shimmering energy field. Their systems went dark, their engines died, and they found themselves being pulled inexorably towards the alien behemoth. Now, hours later, they were prisoners on an alien ship, hurtling through space to an unknown destination. "Major," a voice broke through Sarah's reverie. It was Corporal Rodriguez, the youngest member of her squad. His face was pale, his eyes wide with fear. What do you think they want with us?" Sarah took a deep breath, forcing herself to project an aura of calm she didn't feel. "I don't know, Corporal, but whatever happens, we stick together. We're soldiers of Earth, and we'll face this as a team." A chorus of murmured agreements rippled through the holding cell. Sarah nodded, grateful for the unwavering loyalty of her squad. They were the best of the best, hand-picked for this deep space assignment. If anyone could find a way out of this mess, it was them. Suddenly, the ship shuddered, the vibrations growing more intense. Sarah's stomach lurched as she felt the telltale signs of deceleration. They were dropping out of faster-than-light travel. "Looks like we're about to find out where they've taken us," she muttered. The holding cell fell silent once more as the squad braced themselves for whatever came next. Minutes ticked by, each second feeling like an eternity. Then, with a final shudder, the ship came to a stop. For a moment, nothing happened. Sarah strained her ears, listening for any clue as to what awaited them. Then, with a hiss of hydraulics, the door to their cell slid open. Standing in the doorway was a creature that defied description. It stood nearly 8 feet tall, its body a sinuous blend of insectoid and reptilian features. Multiple arms emerged from its torso, each ending in wickedly sharp claws. Its head was dominated by compound eyes that glittered with an unsettling intelligence. "You will come," the creature said, its voice a harsh, clicking sound that nonetheless formed recognizable words. "The Empress wishes to inspect her new acquisitions." Sarah exchanged glances with her squad. They had no weapons, no way to fight back against these alien captors. For now, their only option was to comply and look for opportunities. "We'll cooperate," Sarah said, her voice steady. "But know this, we are soldiers of Earth. Whatever you have planned for us, we won't make it easy." The alien's mandibles twitched in what might have been amusement. "Brave words, little human. We shall see how long your spirit lasts in the arena." With that ominous proclamation, the squad was ushered out of the holding cell and into the corridors of the alien ship. Sarah's mind raced, taking in every detail of their surroundings. The architecture was unlike anything she had ever seen, all swooping organic curves and pulsing bioluminescent lights. As they marched through the ship, Sarah caught glimpses of other aliens, some similar to their captor, others wildly different. It was clear they had stumbled into a vast interstellar empire, one that made humanity's fledgling colonies look like child's play in comparison. Finally, they emerged into a cavernous chamber that could only be the throne room. At its center, atop a dais of twisted metal and glowing crystals, sat the Empress. She was a sight to behold. Unlike the insectoid guards, the Empress appeared almost humanoid, though there was nothing human about her ethereal beauty. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent sheen, and her eyes, all four of them, glowed with an inner light. When she spoke, her voice resonated with a melodic quality that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. "So, these are the humans who dared to encroach upon our territory," the Empress said, her gaze sweeping over the captive squad. "I must admit, I expected more from a species audacious enough to think they could colonize the stars." Sarah stepped forward, ignoring the warning hiss from their guard. "Your Highness, there has been a misunderstanding. We are not invaders or colonists. We were responding to a distress call from one of our outposts." The Empress's laughter was like tinkling crystal. "Oh, my dear, there is no misunderstanding. Your people have been expanding unchecked for far too long, blundering into realms that do not belong to you. It was time we taught you a lesson." She leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "But I am not without mercy. Your capture serves a dual purpose. Not only will it send a message to your leaders, but it will also provide entertainment for my subjects. You see, we are always in need of new gladiators for our arena." A murmur of shock ran through the squad. Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. They were to be slaves, forced to fight for the amusement of aliens. "You can't do this," Sarah protested. "We are soldiers, not gladiators. This is a violation of every interstellar law and treaty." The Empress's smile was cold. "My dear human, you operate under the misguided assumption that your laws have any bearing here. In my empire, I am the law, and I have decreed that you and your squad will fight for your lives, for my entertainment and the glory of the Xaoth Empire." With a wave of her hand, the Empress dismissed them. As the guards began to herd them out of the throne room, Sarah caught the Empress's eyes one last time. There was something in that alien gaze, a flicker of curiosity, perhaps even admiration, that gave Sarah pause. In that moment, she made a silent vow. They would survive this. They would find a way to escape, to warn Earth of the threat that loomed in the darkness between the stars. And somehow, someway, they would show these aliens that humanity was not to be underestimated. The next few days passed in a blur of harsh training and harsher realizations. The squad was separated, each member assigned to different training regimens based on their physical attributes and the whims of their alien overseers. Sarah found herself in a group with other bipedal species, forced to learn the intricacies of alien weapons and combat styles. The training was brutal, designed to push them to their physical and mental limits. Many of her fellow gladiators in training didn't survive the process. But Sarah was determined. She threw herself into the training, absorbing every scrap of knowledge, every technique she could. She knew that their best chance of survival, of escape, lay in understanding their captors and their weapons. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah began to stand out. Her quick reflexes, honed by years of military training, served her well in the arena. She adapted to the alien weapons with a speed that surprised even her trainers. And more than that, she never lost her spirit, her determination to survive and find a way back to her people. It was this indomitable will that caught the attention of Zartok, the head trainer. A grizzled veteran of countless battles, Zartok had seen thousands of slaves come and go. But there was something different about this human female. "You fight well, Earthling," Zartok growled one day after a particularly grueling session. "Better than most. Perhaps you will survive your first real battle after all." Sarah wiped the sweat from her brow, her muscles screaming from exertion. "I don't intend to just survive," she said, meeting the alien's gaze. "I intend to win." Zartok's mandibles clicked in what Sarah had come to recognize as laughter. Bold words. We shall see if you can back them up in the arena. As Zartok turned to leave, Sarah called out to him. "Wait, I have a question." The alien paused, regarding her with curiosity. "Speak." "The Empress," Sarah said, choosing her words carefully. "She seems different from the rest of you. Why is that?" Zartok was silent for a long moment, his compound eyes unreadable. When he spoke, his voice was low, almost reverent. "The Empress is not like us because she is above us. She is the living embodiment of our empire's might, a being of pure energy given physical form. It is said that she has lived for millennia, guiding our people to greatness. Sarah absorbed this information, her mind racing with the implications. An energy being, practically immortal, it was beyond anything humanity had encountered in their explorations. "Thank you," she said simply. Zartok nodded and left, leaving Sarah alone with her thoughts. That night, as she lay on a hard bunk in the gladiator barracks, Sarah's mind whirled with plans and possibilities. The Empress was key to all of this, she was sure of it. If they could somehow appeal to her, make her see that humanity wasn't a threat. But first, they had to survive the arena. The day of their first true battle arrived with a sense of grim inevitability. Sarah and her fellow gladiators were herded into a holding area beneath the massive arena. The roar of the alien crowd above was deafening, even through the thick walls. As they waited, Sarah sought out the members of her squad. They had seen little of each other during their training, and the reunion was bittersweet. Rodriguez looked gaunt, his eyes haunted. Jenkins sported a new scar across his face. Takashi's left arm had been replaced with a crude cybernetic prosthetic. But they were alive, and where there was life, there was hope. "Listen up," Sarah said, gathering them close. "I know things look bad, but we're still a team, still soldiers of Earth. Whatever they throw at us out there, we face it together. Watch each other's backs, and remember, we're not just fighting for our lives. We're fighting for our freedom, for a chance to warn Earth about what's out here." The others nodded, a spark of determination kindling in their eyes. They were interrupted by the harsh bark of their guards, signaling that it was time. As they were marched out into the blinding light of the arena, Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. The amphitheater was massive, stretching up into the alien sky. Thousands of spectators rolled and clicked, a cacophony of alien sounds that sent shivers down her spine. And there, in an ornate box high above the arena floor, sat the Empress. Even from this distance, Sarah could feel the weight of that alien gaze upon her. A booming voice echoed across the arena, introducing the combatants in a language Sarah didn't understand. But the meaning was clear enough when the opposite gates crashed open, revealing their opponents. They were monstrous creations, cybernetic abominations that melded flesh and machine into nightmarish forms. There were 5 of them, matching the number of humans, but each was easily twice the size of a man, bristling with weapons and armor. As the signal to begin the battle rang out, Sarah's world narrowed to a pinpoint of focus. All her training, all her determination crystallized into a single thought: survive. The battle was a blur of chaos and violence. Sarah's squad fought with everything they had, their human adaptability and teamwork giving them an edge against the raw power of their opponents. Sarah herself was a whirlwind of motion, the alien weapon in her hands becoming an extension of her body. She darted between the lumbering cyber beasts, striking at weak points, drawing their attention to give her teammates openings. But it wasn't enough. One by one, her squad fell. Rodriguez went down first, a lucky blow catching him off guard. Jenkins lasted longer, taking one of the monsters with him before succumbing to his wounds. In the end, it was just Sarah and Takashi, back to back against the 3 remaining opponents. They were battered, bleeding, running on nothing but adrenaline and sheer force of will. "It's been an honor, Major," Takashi grunted, his cybernetic arms sparking from damage. "It's not over yet," Sarah growled, and with that, she launched herself at the nearest monster, a desperate gamble born of desperation. What happened next would be talked about in the bars and gathering places of the Empire for years to come. The human female, already pushed beyond her limits, found reserves of strength that defied explanation. She moved with a speed and precision that seemed impossible, her strikes finding weak points that even the arena's designers didn't know existed. One by one, the cyber beasts fell, and when the dust settled, when the roar of the crowd faded to a stunned silence, Sarah Chen stood alone in the center of the arena, blood-eyed but unbowed. As the reality of what had just happened sank in, the crowd erupted in a frenzy of alien cheers. Sarah barely heard it. Her vision was tunneling, her body finally giving in to exhaustion and injury. As she felt herself falling, her eyes sought out the Empress's box high above. The last thing Sarah saw before unconsciousness claimed her was the Empress, leaning forward on her throne, 4 eyes wide with an emotion Sarah couldn't name. And then the world went dark. The quantum crucible. Sarah's consciousness flickered like a faulty hologram, fragments of reality interspersed with fevered dreams. In her delirium, she saw Earth burning, alien armadas descending from the skies. She heard the screams of her fallen comrades, their voices accusing her of failing them. But threaded through these nightmares was something else, a presence, cool and soothing, that seemed to cradle her battered mind. It whispered to her in a language beyond words, speaking of destiny and the intertwined fates of two vastly different species. When Sarah finally clawed her way back to full awareness, she found herself in surroundings that defied her expectations. Gone was the harsh, utilitarian cell she had expected. Instead, she lay on a bed of what seemed to be living crystal, its surface molding perfectly to her body's contours. The room around her pulsed with soft, bioluminescent light, creating an atmosphere of otherworldly tranquility. As she struggled to sit up, a melodic chime sounded, and a holographic display materialized before her. The face that appeared was one she recognized all too well, the Empress herself. "Welcome back to the land of the living, Sarah Chen of Earth," the Empress said, her multifaceted eyes gleaming with an emotion Sarah couldn't quite place. "You have surprised us all with your performance in the arena. It seems humans are more interesting than we initially believed." Sarah's mind raced, trying to process the situation. Why was she being treated like a guest rather than a prisoner? And why was the Empress addressing her directly? "Where are my people?" Sarah demanded, her voice hoarse from disuse. "What happened to the rest of my squad?" The Empress's expression shifted, something almost like regret flitting across her alien features. "I'm afraid you were the sole survivor of your team. The others, their bodies have been preserved with honor, awaiting your decision on their final disposition." The news hit Sarah like a physical blow. She had known, deep down, that the others hadn't survived the arena. But hearing it confirmed made it real in a way that threatened to shatter her composure. "However," the Empress continued, "your extraordinary feat has earned you a unique opportunity, one that could change the fate of both our peoples." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" "I speak of the quantum crucible," the Empress said, her voice taking on a tone of reverence. "A test that has not been attempted in 10,000 years. A challenge that could elevate you, and by extension humanity, to a status few in the galaxy have ever achieved." The hologram shifted, showing images of a massive structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It was a spherical chamber, but one where space itself seemed to fold and twist in impossible ways. "The quantum crucible is a relic of the precursors," the Empress explained. "The ancient race that seeded the galaxy with life eons ago. It is a test of not just physical prowess or mental acuity, but of one's very essence. Those who survive emerge forever changed, their potential unlocked in ways we still don't fully understand." Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. "And you offering this to me? Why?" The Empress's laugh was like tinkling crystal. "Because, my dear Sarah, you have proven yourself worthy of the attempt, and because I am curious to see what a human might become if they succeed. Will you accept the challenge?" Sarah hesitated. Every instinct screamed that this was a trap, another form of alien manipulation. But a deeper part of her, the part that had driven her to join the United Earth Defense Force and venture into the unknown, stirred with excitement. "What happens if I succeed?" she asked cautiously. "If you emerge from the crucible, you'll be granted the status of cosmic citizen," the Empress said. "No longer a slave or a gladiator, but a being recognized as equal throughout the Empire. You would have the power to negotiate on behalf of your people, to potentially forge an alliance between our civilizations." The offer was tantalizing, a chance not just for personal freedom, but to potentially save humanity from the threat of alien domination. But Sarah knew there had to be a catch. And if I fail? The Empress's expression turned grave. The crucible is not kind to those who are found wanting. Failure means death, or worse. Sarah took a deep breath, weighing her options. In the end, there was really only one choice. I accept, she said firmly. When do we begin? The Empress's smile was both beautiful and terrifying. Now, she said simply. Before Sarah could react, the world around her shimmered and dissolved. She found herself standing on a platform overlooking the quantum crucible, its impossible geometry making her eyes water if she looked at it too long. The test has 3 phases, the Empress's voice echoed in her mind. Mind, body, and spirit. You must overcome each to prove your worth. Good luck, Sarah Chen of Earth. The fate of your species rests in your hands. With that, Sarah felt herself being drawn into the crucible, the very fabric of reality twisting around her. The first challenge, the test of mind, was like nothing Sarah had ever experienced. She found herself in a vast library, but one where the books were alive, their contents constantly shifting and changing. Alien symbols and equations floated through the air, rearranging themselves into complex patterns. A voice, neither male nor female, human nor alien, spoke directly into her thoughts. To pass the test of mind, you must unravel the Gordian equation. Solve that which cannot be solved. Sarah's military training hadn't prepared her for this kind of abstract problem-solving. But as she immersed herself in the swirling data, she began to see patterns emerging. The equations weren't meant to be solved in a traditional sense. They were a representation of the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. Drawing on everything she knew about physics, mathematics, and even philosophy, Sarah began to arrange the symbols in new configurations. She worked tirelessly, losing all sense of time as she delved deeper into the cosmic riddle. Finally, after what could have been hours or days, the patterns aligned. The Gordian equation revealed itself not as a problem to be solved, but as a map of the universe itself, showing how all things were connected through quantum entanglement. As Sarah grasped the true nature of the equation, the library dissolved around her. She had passed the first test. The second challenge, the test of body, transported Sarah to a gladiatorial arena unlike any she had faced before. Here, gravity fluctuated wildly, and the very ground beneath her feet phased in and out of existence. Her opponent was a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting between states of matter. It attacked with tendrils of plasma and beams of coherent light, pushing Sarah to the limits of her physical abilities. But Sarah had not survived the horrors of alien gladiatorial combat to fall here. She used the chaotic environment to her advantage, timing her movements with the gravitational fluctuations to launch herself at impossible angles. Her military training combined with the skills she had learned as a gladiator, allowing her to anticipate her opponent's attacks and strike at its weakest points. The battle raged on, a dance of energy and matter that defied description. Sarah took hits that should have vaporized her, but each time she rose again, her determination burning brighter than ever. In the end, it was this unbreakable will that won the day. As Sarah landed a final decisive blow, her opponent dissipated into a shower of sparks. She stood alone in the arena, battered but victorious. The final challenge, the test of spirit, was the most harrowing of all. Sarah found herself in a featureless void, facing not an external enemy, but the darkest parts of herself. Here, she was forced to confront her deepest fears and regrets. She relived the moment of her capture, saw alternate timelines where she made different choices that saved her squad but doomed humanity. She faced the specter of what she might become if given the power of a cosmic citizen, a tyrant no better than the aliens who had enslaved her. For a moment, Sarah teetered on the brink of despair. The weight of her choices, the lives lost, the awesome responsibility that awaited her if she succeeded, it all threatened to crush her spirit. But in that darkest moment, Sarah remembered why she had joined the United Earth Defense Force in the first place. It wasn't for glory or power, but to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. To stand as a bulwark against the darkness that threatened humanity's future among the stars. With a cry that echoed through the void, Sarah embraced her fears, accepted her flaws, and reaffirmed her commitment to serving a cause greater than herself. As she did, the oppressive darkness receded, replaced by a warm, welcoming light. Sarah opened her eyes to find herself back on the platform overlooking the quantum crucible, but everything had changed. Her senses were heightened, her mind expanded. She could perceive the quantum foam underlying reality, could see the strands of probability stretching out into infinite possible futures. The Empress stood before her, but Sarah now saw her true form, a being of pure energy, ancient beyond imagining. When the Empress spoke, her voice resonated on a frequency that Sarah could now understand on a fundamental level. "You have succeeded where countless others have failed," the Empress said, her tone a mix of awe and satisfaction. "You have proven yourself worthy of the title of cosmic citizen. The power of the precursors flows through you now, unlocking potential that your species has only dreamed of." Sarah looked down at her hands, seeing the energy that now coursed through her body. She could feel the connections between herself and every other particle in the universe. The knowledge was overwhelming, but exhilarating. "What happens now?" Sarah asked, her voice carrying new harmonics that made the air itself vibrate. The Empress's form shimmered with what might have been excitement. "Now, Sarah Chen of Earth, we negotiate. Your species stands on the brink of a new era. Will you be the bridge that unites our civilizations, or will you use your new power to stand against us?" Sarah considered the question carefully. She could see the branching timelines, the potential consequences of each choice. In one future, humanity joined the galactic community as equals, ushering in an unprecedented era of peace and discovery. In another, they used the knowledge she brought back to develop weapons capable of challenging even the Empress's mighty empire. The choice, Sarah realized, was not just hers to make. She was a representative of humanity now, empowered to speak on their behalf, but not to decide their fate alone. "I propose a compromise," Sarah said, her words carrying the weight of cosmic law. "I will return to Earth as an ambassador. I will share what I have learned, help my people prepare for the wider galaxy, and then, when we are ready, we will meet again, not as conquerors or slaves, but as equals." The Empress was silent for a long moment, her energy form pulsing with complex emotions. Finally, she spoke. "It is not the outcome I had foreseen," she admitted, "but perhaps that is for the best. You have shown me that humans are indeed more than we believed. Very well, Sarah Chen. Return to your people. Prepare them for what lies ahead. We will be watching with great interest." With a gesture, the Empress opened a portal in space-time. Through it, Sarah could see the familiar blue marble of Earth. As she stepped towards the portal, Sarah turned back to the Empress one last time. "Thank you," she said simply, "for the challenge and for the opportunity. I hope that when we meet again, it will be as friends." The Empress's form flickered in what might have been a smile. "As do I, cosmic citizen. Safe journey." Sarah took a deep breath and stepped through the portal. As the familiar atmosphere of Earth enveloped her, she felt the weight of her new responsibility settling on her shoulders. The road ahead would not be easy, but she was ready for the challenge. Humanity's next great adventure was about to begin, the quantum awakening. As Sarah Chen materialized on the outskirts of New Beijing, the sprawling megalopolis that had become Earth's de facto capital, she felt the full weight of her transformation. The quantum crucible had changed her on a fundamental level, granting her abilities that defied conventional understanding. But with that power came an awesome responsibility. The city's skyline, once a marvel of human engineering, now seemed quaint compared to the cosmic wonders she had witnessed. Sarah could perceive the quantum fluctuations in the air, see the probability waves of every person and object around her. It was overwhelming, like trying to drink from a fire hose of information. Focus, she muttered to herself, taking a deep breath. She needed to find a way to contact the United Earth government without causing a panic. A woman appearing out of thin air, claiming to be a long-lost soldier with a message from the stars, was bound to raise some alarms. As she pondered her next move, Sarah became aware of a disturbance in the quantum field. Something was approaching, something that didn't belong in this reality. A shimmer in the air coalesced into a familiar form. It was Zartok, the alien gladiator trainer who had prepared her for the arena. Impressive, Zartok clicked, his mandibles twitching in what Sarah now recognized as admiration. You've mastered quantum tunneling already. The Empress was right about your potential. Sarah tensed, ready for a fight. Why are you here, Zartok? Come to drag me back to the arena. The alien shook his head. No, Sarah Chen. I come as an observer, and perhaps an ally. The Empress sent me to monitor your progress and to serve as a liaison between our peoples. Sarah's eyes narrowed. A liaison or a spy? Zartok's compound eyes glittered with amusement. Can it not be both? The universe is rarely so binary, as you well know now. Before Sarah could respond, the air was split by the screech of sirens. A squadron of sleek, anti-gravity vehicles descended from the sky, surrounding them in a tight formation. Armored troops poured out, training advanced weaponry on Sarah and Zartok. A voice boomed through a megaphone. This is the United Earth Defense Force. Unknown entities, you are in violation of territorial sovereignty. Surrender immediately or face termination. Sarah raised her hands slowly, noting the fear and confusion radiating from the soldiers in quantum waves. My name is Major Sarah Chen, UEDF Special Operations, she called out. Authorization code Zulu Tango 97 Alpha. I need to speak with Central Command immediately. It's a matter of galactic security. There was a moment of tense silence, broken only by the hum of weapons and the nervous shuffling of troops. Then, a new voice cut through the chaos. Stand down. I repeat, all units stand down. The soldiers parted to reveal a man in a crisp military uniform adorned with the insignia of a general. His weathered face was a mask of disbelief as he approached Sarah. Major Chen, he said, his voice thick with emotion. My God, we thought you were dead. Your entire squad, the colony. Sarah nodded grimly. It's a long story, sir. One that I think you and the rest of Earth's leadership need to hear. But first, she gestured to Zartok, who had remained eerily still throughout the confrontation. I'd like to introduce our first official alien visitor. This is Zartok, representative of the Kaweth Empire. The general's eyes widened as he took in Zartok's alien form. Mother of mercy, he breathed. It's really happening. First contact. Sarah shook her head. Not first contact, sir. More like first diplomatic relations, and we have a lot of catching up to do. The next few hours were a whirlwind of debriefings, medical examinations, and high-level meetings. Sarah found herself in a secure bunker deep beneath New Beijing, surrounded by the most powerful leaders on Earth. She told them everything: the abduction, the gladiatorial arena, the quantum crucible, and her transformation into a cosmic citizen. As she spoke, Sarah could see the quantum probabilities shifting around her. Some of the leaders radiated fear, their minds already turning to thoughts of weapons and defenses. Others pulsed with excitement at the possibilities of alien technology and cosmic knowledge. A few, to her relief, emanated a cautious hope for peaceful cooperation. So, let me get this straight, the President of the United Earth Government said, rubbing her temples. There's an entire galactic empire out there, with technology far beyond our own. They've been watching us for who knows how long. And now, because you passed some alien test, they're willing to open diplomatic relations. Sarah nodded. That's the essence of it, Madam President. But there's more. The power I've been given, the knowledge of the quantum crucible, it's not just for me. It's a gift for all of humanity. A chance for us to take our place among the stars as equals, not as conquered subjects. And what's to stop us from using this power to defend ourselves? A gruff military commander interjected, to build weapons that could protect Earth from any alien threat. Sarah turned to him, her eyes glowing with an inner light. Because, General, that path leads to destruction. I've seen it. The quantum probabilities are clear. If we approach this as a war to be won, we'll face an enemy that's had millennia to perfect the art of cosmic combat. We wouldn't stand a chance. Then what do you propose, Major? The President asked. Sarah took a deep breath. We learn, we grow, we prepare. The Tsareth Empire has given us a chance to join the galactic community on our own terms. But we need to prove that we're ready, that we can be trusted with the power and knowledge they're offering. She waved her hand, and a holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room. It showed Earth, but surrounded by a complex network of quantum entanglements linking it to distant stars. This is the cosmic web, Sarah explained. A network of quantum connections that binds the galaxy together. With the right technology I can help us develop, we can use it for instantaneous communication and transportation across vast distances. The room erupted in excited murmurs. The possibilities were staggering. As the effect faded, leaving billions of humans reeling from the experience, a new message resonated globally. The CDHASBEN planted. UHAV CVN CLETLEs to PREPLFOR the CONVAOGNCE. She choose YSLE. Sarah's mind raced as she interpreted the message. 7 days, she translated for the stunned leaders. We have a week to decide if we're ready to take the next step in our evolution. The next 7 days were the most intense in human history. With the veil lifted, even if only temporarily, people began to awaken latent abilities. Reports flooded in from around the world of spontaneous telekinesis, precognition, and even limited matter manipulation. Sarah worked tirelessly, using her enhanced abilities to help mitigate the chaos. She appeared simultaneously in multiple locations, guiding those struggling with their newfound powers, preventing accidents, and spreading a message of hope and unity. But not everyone saw the Precursor's offer as a gift. A vocal minority, led by those who feared losing their power in a transformed world, began to sow discord. They claimed the aliens were demons, that accepting their gift would mean the end of humanity as they knew it. Tensions reached a boiling point on the 6th day. A radical group, calling themselves the Pure Earth Coalition, launched a desperate attack on the precursor ship. They used experimental weapons reverse-engineered from Sarah's quantum abilities, hoping to drive the aliens away and maintain the status quo. Sarah felt the attack coming seconds before it happened. In a heartbeat, she quantum-tunneled to the launch site, appearing in a blaze of energy that startled the terrorists. "Stop," she cried, her voice carrying the weight of cosmic authority. "You don't know what you're doing." The lead terrorist, a man with wild eyes and a detonator in his hand, sneered at her. "We're saving humanity, freak. We don't need to become aliens to survive." As he moved to trigger the weapon, Sarah made a split-second decision. She tapped into the full power granted to her by the quantum crucible, pushing her transformation further than ever before. In a burst of blinding light, Sarah's physical form dissolved, reforming as a being of pure energy. She resembled the precursors now, a swirling vortex of cosmic power barely contained in humanoid shape. "This is not the end of humanity," she said, her voice resonating on multiple levels of reality. "It's the next step in our journey." With a gesture, she neutralized the quantum weapon, reducing it to its component atoms. The terrorists fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the display of power. As Sarah's consciousness expanded, she became aware of a vast network of minds, the collective thoughts of humanity, all grappling with the choice before them. In that moment, she understood what needed to be done. "People of Earth," she broadcast, her thoughts reaching every mind on the planet. "I know you're afraid. I know this change seems overwhelming. But we stand on the brink of something miraculous. We have the chance to break free of our limitations, to touch the face of creation itself. I've seen what we can become, and it's beautiful beyond imagining. She paused, feeling the swirl of emotions her words provoked. But it has to be a choice, your choice. Not made out of fear or blind obedience, but out of hope and a desire to grow. In these final hours, look inside yourselves. Find the spark of cosmic potential that lives in each of us, and decide what kind of future you want for humanity. As her message faded, Sarah felt a new presence. The precursor ship was descending, its impossible geometries reconfiguring as it approached the planet's surface. In the depths of space, the Xareth fleet watched with bated breath. The Empress herself had come to witness this pivotal moment in cosmic history. As the seventh day dawned, humanity stood united as never before. The shared experience of the past week, the glimpse of their cosmic potential, had bridged gaps of culture, religion, and ideology. They faced the convergence not as separate nations or factions, but as one species ready to take its next great leap. The precursor ship touched down in a vast desert, its energy form solidifying into a structure that dwarfed any human construction. A doorway appeared, a portal of swirling light that beckoned humanity forward. But, Sarah continued, her voice cutting through the chatter, this is just the beginning. The real challenge lies in how we use this knowledge. Will we use it to explore, to connect, to grow? Or will we use it to dominate and destroy? The president stood, her face set in a determined expression. Major Chen, you've given us a lot to think about. I think I speak for everyone here when I say that we need time to process this information and consider our options. Sarah nodded. I understand, Madam President, but we don't have the luxury of time. The galaxy is watching us. Our next moves will determine humanity's place in the cosmic order for generations to come. As the meeting adjourned, Sarah found herself drawn to a window overlooking the sprawling cityscape of New Beijing. The quantum fluctuations in the air had settled into a new pattern, one thrumming with potential and possibility. Zartok appeared beside her, his alien presence a reminder of the vast universe that awaited. They're afraid, the alien observed. It's natural. Fear of the unknown is a survival trait in most species. Sarah nodded. Fear can be a powerful motivator, but so can hope. And right now, humanity needs hope more than ever. As she spoke, Sarah became aware of a new disturbance in the quantum field. Something massive was approaching, not physically, but through the higher dimensions of reality. Zartok, she said, her voice tight with sudden tension. Do you feel that? The alien's antennae quivered. Yes, something is coming. Something ancient. Before either of them could react further, the sky above New Beijing split open. A rift in space-time yawned wide, and through it emerged a sight that defied description. It was a ship, if such a mundane term could be applied to the cosmic entity that now hung in Earth's sky. It was a construct of pure energy and impossible geometries, its surface rippling with colors that had no name in any human language. As billions of stunned humans looked to the heavens, a voice resonated in every mind on the planet, speaking in a language that bypassed the ears and went straight to the soul. Children of Earth, the time of testing is upon you. Prepare yourselves for the cosmic awakening. Sarah's heart raced as she realized the true scope of what was happening. The quantum crucible had been just the beginning. Now, all of humanity stood on the brink of an evolutionary leap that would redefine their very existence. The real challenge was about to begin, the cosmic convergence. The arrival of the precursor ship sent shockwaves through human civilization. Panic gripped cities worldwide as the impossible construct hung in the sky, a constant reminder of humanity's new cosmic reality. Governments scrambled to maintain order, religious leaders sought meaning in the extraterrestrial presence, and scientists worked tirelessly to understand the implications of this paradigm-shifting event. Sarah Chen found herself at the epicenter of this global upheaval. Her unique status as both a human and a cosmic citizen made her the de facto liaison between Earth and the ancient entities that had arrived on their cosmic doorstep. "We need to prepare the population," Sarah insisted during an emergency meeting of world leaders. "The precursors aren't here to conquer us. They're here to offer us a choice, a chance to evolve beyond our current limitations." "And how do you propose we do that, Major?" a skeptical diplomat asked. "Tell people to just accept that everything they know about reality is wrong." Sarah's eyes glowed with inner light as she accessed the quantum knowledge flowing through her. "We show them. We give them a glimpse of what's possible." With a wave of her hand, Sarah opened a portal in the middle of the conference room. Through it, the astonished leaders could see a vista of unimaginable beauty, a nebula where new stars were being born, their cosmic dance visible in ways no telescope could capture. "This is what awaits us," Sarah said softly. "Not just the ability to see the wonders of the universe, but to understand them on a fundamental level, to become part of the cosmic tapestry." As the leaders murmured in awe, Zartok stepped forward. "The Xarth Empire has seen many species face this moment of truth," the aliens said. "Some embrace it and ascend to new heights. Others reject it out of fear and remain trapped in their limited perceptions. The choice is yours." Before anyone could respond, a pulse of energy emanated from the precursor ship. It washed over the Earth in a wave of scintillating light, and suddenly every human on the planet found their consciousness expanded. For a brief moment, they could perceive the quantum nature of reality, see the interconnectedness of all things. As the effect faded, leaving billions of humans reeling from the experience, a new message resonated globally. "The CDHASBEN planted. UHAV-CVN-CYCLEs to PREKAFOR the CONVALGNCE. She use wisely." Sarah's mind raced as she interpreted the message. 7 days, she translated for the stunned leaders. "We have a week to decide if we're ready to take the next step in our evolution." The next 7 days were the most intense in human history. With the veil lifted, even if only temporarily, people began to awaken latent abilities. Reports flooded in from around the world of spontaneous telekinesis, precognition, and even limited matter manipulation. Sarah worked tirelessly, using her enhanced abilities to help mitigate the chaos. She appeared simultaneously in multiple locations, guiding those struggling with their newfound powers, preventing accidents, and spreading a message of hope and unity. But not everyone saw the precursor's offer as a gift. A vocal minority, led by those who feared losing their power in a transformed world, began to sow discord. They claimed the aliens were demons, that accepting their gift would mean the end of humanity as they knew it. Tensions reached a boiling point on the 6th day. A radical group, calling themselves the Pure Earth Coalition, launched a desperate attack on the precursor ship. They used experimental weapons reverse-engineered from Sarah's quantum abilities, hoping to drive the aliens away and maintain the status quo. Sarah felt the attack coming seconds before it happened. In a heartbeat, she quantum tunneled to the launch site, appearing in a blaze of energy that startled the terrorists. "Stop," she cried, her voice carrying the weight of cosmic authority. "You don't know what you're doing." The lead terrorist, a man with wild eyes and a detonator in his hand, sneered at her. "We're saving humanity, freak. We don't need to become aliens to survive." As he moved to trigger the weapon, Sarah made a split-second decision. She tapped into the full power granted to her by the quantum crucible, pushing her transformation further than ever before. In a burst of blinding light, Sarah's physical form dissolved, reforming as a being of pure energy. She resembled the precursors now, a swirling vortex of cosmic power barely contained in humanoid shape. "This is not the end of humanity," she said, her voice resonating on multiple levels of reality. "It's the next step in our journey." With a gesture, she neutralized the quantum weapon, reducing it to its component atoms. The terrorists fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the display of power. As Sarah's consciousness expanded, she became aware of a vast network of minds, the collective thoughts of humanity, all grappling with the choice before them. In that moment, she understood what needed to be done. "People of Earth," she broadcast, her thoughts reaching every mind on the planet. "I know you are afraid. I know this change seems overwhelming. But we stand on the brink of something miraculous. We have the chance to break free of our limitations, to touch the face of creation itself. I've seen what we can become, and it's beautiful beyond imagining." She paused, feeling the swirl of emotions her words provoked. "But it has to be a choice, your choice. Not made out of fear or blind obedience, but out of hope and a desire to grow. In these final hours, look inside yourselves. Find the spark of cosmic potential that lives in each of us, and decide what kind of future you want for humanity." As her message faded, Sarah felt a new presence. The precursor ship was descending, its impossible geometries reconfiguring as it approached the planet's surface. In the depths of space, the entire fleet watched with bated breath. The Empress herself had come to witness this pivotal moment in cosmic history. As the seventh day dawned, humanity stood united as never before. The shared experience of the past week, the glimpse of their cosmic potential, had bridged gaps of culture, religion, and ideology. They faced the convergence not as separate nations or factions, but as one species ready to take its next great leap. The precursor ship touched down in a vast desert, its energy form solidifying into a structure that dwarfed any human construction. A doorway appeared, a portal of swirling light that beckoned humanity forward. Sarah, still in her energy form, floated before the assembled crowds. World leaders stood shoulder to shoulder with ordinary citizens, all eyes fixed on the cosmic spectacle before them. "It's time," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. "Are we ready?" As one, humanity answered, not with words, but with a surge of collective will. They had made their choice. Sarah smiled, feeling the weight of this historic moment. She turned to the precursor ship, her energy form pulsing with anticipation. "We're ready," she declared. "Humanity accepts the convergence." The portal flared brightly, and Sarah led her people forward into a new era of cosmic enlightenment. The transformation had begun, and the universe would never be the same. As the last humans stepped through the portal, the Empress of the Xarath Empire watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "And so," she murmured, "a new power rises in the cosmos. May we all be ready for what comes next." The cosmic convergence was complete. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The cosmic symphony. As the last echoes of the convergence faded, the universe held its breath. Humanity, once bound to a single world, had taken its first steps into a realm of infinite possibility. But with great power comes great responsibility, and the newly ascended human race soon found itself facing challenges beyond imagination. Sarah Chen, now a being of pure quantum energy, stood at the forefront of this new era. Her consciousness expanded across the cosmos, touching the minds of her transformed kin. They were no longer merely human, but something more, Homo cosmicus, a species bridging the gap between mortality and godhood. "Welcome," a voice like the birth of stars resonated through their collective consciousness, "to the cosmic symphony." Before them materialized a being of such complexity and beauty that even their enhanced senses struggled to comprehend it. This was Aria, last of the true precursors, keeper of the universal harmony. "You have taken the first step," Aria continued, her form shifting through impossible colors. "But the journey ahead is long. You must learn to play your part in the great song of creation." Sarah felt the weight of this responsibility settle upon her. "What must we do?" she asked, her thoughts rippling through the quantum foam of reality. Aria's response came not in words, but in a burst of pure information that flooded their heightened minds. They saw the universe as it truly was, not a collection of separate objects and beings, but a vast, interconnected web of energy and consciousness, and they saw their role within it. "The cosmic symphony requires balance," Aria explained. For eons, we precursors maintained that balance. But we grew wary, and in our absence, discord has spread. You, Homo cosmicus, must become the new custodians of universal harmony. As if to underscore her words, a discordant note rang out across the cosmos. In a distant galaxy, a supermassive black hole was devouring stars at an alarming rate, threatening to destabilize an entire galactic cluster. "Your first test," Harrier declared. "Go, show us what humanity has become." Sarah turned to her fellow ascended humans, feeling their mix of excitement and trepidation. "We can do this," she assured them. "Remember who we are, what we've overcome. This is why we embrace the convergence, to make a difference on a cosmic scale." Together, they focused their collective will. Space-time bent around them as they traversed millions of light-years in an instant. They arrived at the turbulent galaxy, witnessing firsthand the awesome destructive power of the rogue black hole. "We need to stabilize it," Sarah communicated to the others. But how? Then, drawing upon the cosmic knowledge gifted to them by the convergence, an idea formed. They began to move in perfect synchronization, their energy forms weaving through the fabric of space-time. They were no longer individuals, but a unified cosmic entity with a single purpose. As one, they began to sing. It was no ordinary song. It was a symphony of quantum harmonics, each note precisely calibrated to resonate with the fundamental forces of the universe. The music spread through the galaxy, touching every star, every planet, every particle of cosmic dust. The black hole's violent feeding frenzy began to slow. The song reshaped space-time around it, creating a perfect balance between its gravitational pull and the surrounding matter. Slowly but surely, harmony was restored to the galaxy. As the last notes faded, Sarah and her fellow Homo cosmicus marveled at what they had accomplished. They had wielded the power of creation itself, reshaping a galaxy with the power of their will and their newfound understanding of cosmic music. But their work was far from over. Across the universe, other discordant notes rang out, cosmic strings vibrating out of tune, clashing brains in the multiverse, entropy running wild in pocket dimensions. Homo cosmicus had found its purpose, its cosmic calling. Back on Earth, those humans who had chosen not to ascend watched the skies with a mixture of awe and longing. They saw their transformed brethren moving among the stars, witnessing their godlike acts of cosmic maintenance. Zartok, the Xareth ambassador, stood beside the leaders of Earth, his compound eyes reflecting the stellar light show above. And so, he clicked, the students become the teachers. The Empress will be most intrigued by this development. Indeed, across the galaxy, advanced civilizations took notice of the new players on the cosmic stage. The Xareth Empire, once the dominant force in the galaxy, found itself re-evaluating its place in the cosmic hierarchy. Other races, hidden in the dark spaces between stars, stirred from eons-long slumbers, awakened by the new song emanating from the upstart humans. As Sarah Chen led her people in their new role as cosmic caretakers, she couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. From a primitive species bound to a single world, to slaves in an alien arena, to ascended beings shaping the very fabric of the universe, humanity had come farther than anyone could have imagined. But with their newfound power and purpose came new challenges and responsibilities. The cosmic symphony was vast and complex, and even with their ascended abilities, there was still so much to learn. Arya appeared before them once more, her form shimmering with approval. "You have passed the first test," she said, "but many challenges lie ahead. The universe is vast, and the forces of chaos are ever present. You must remain vigilant, always listening for the discordant notes that threaten the cosmic balance." Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of this cosmic duty. "We won't let you down," she promised. "Humanity has been given a great gift, and we intend to use it wisely." As if in response to her words, a new movement in the cosmic symphony began. It was a theme of hope, of potential realized, of a species taking its place among the celestial spheres. And at its heart was the indomitable spirit of humanity, now freed from its earthly bonds to soar among the stars. The ascended humans spread out across the cosmos, each finding their own unique way to contribute to the universal harmony. Some tended to the stellar nurseries, nurturing new stars into being. Others repaired tears in the fabric of space-time, maintaining the delicate balance between dimensions. Sarah herself took on the role of cosmic diplomat, bridging the gap between ascended humanity and the myriad other species that called the universe home. She negotiated truces between warring galaxies, brokered knowledge exchanges between vastly different forms of life, and always listened for the next challenge that would require humanity's unique touch. As eons passed in the blink of a cosmic eye, Homo cosmicus continued to grow and evolve. They became living embodiments of the universe's fundamental forces, their very existence a crucial thread in the tapestry of creation. And yet, they never forgot their roots. The Earth, cradle of their species, remained a shining jewel in the cosmos, protected and nurtured by its ascended children. It stood as a testament to how far they had come, and a reminder of the potential that lies within every mote of stardust to become something extraordinary. In the grand cosmic symphony, humanity had found its voice, and the universe sang all the sweeter for it.